Welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on child care marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Our host, Brian Duprey, is the world's most sought-after child care coach, having helped tens of thousands of child care owners from around the globe take their business to the next level. Let's welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast, our host, Brian Duprey.
Welcome to Child Care Genius Podcast Training Series. It's Friday, and that means a new training topic. And this week, I have brought my beautiful and talented wife, Carol, as a co-host. So we're going to be together again. We're there together a Tuesday doing a podcast. Now we're here in a training series. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the USDA food program. And some of you are on this program, and some of you are not on this program. Some of you are not on the program and would qualify, but you don't know that you qualify. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And no judgments if you don't want to be. But we've coached a lot of people that didn't think they qualify, and it turned out they actually did. And it made a six-figure difference in their business. So that's why we want to talk about that today. So why don't you just talk a little bit about the food program, Carol?
Okay, so the food program is called the Child and Adult Care Food Program, CACFP. And it's in most states, it's through the Department of Education. And the way that you qualify is you have to have 25% of your enrollment has to be low income. Doesn't mean there's subsidy. There's low income that pay the cash rate, especially if you have before and after school kids. And also, if there's a new rule where if they don't put down their income, they are automatically listed as free, where we've had parents in the past that don't want us to know their income, so they don't put it down. And it used to be that they counted as paid, now they count as free, which is a big deal. That really makes a difference. So the qualification is easier in that way if you have parents that don't put their income. And the good thing is say you have 200 kids and 25 of them are before and after school kids, and 10 of those kids are low income, because before and after school usually don't matter or don't pay as much. So it takes all of your children into account. It doesn't matter if they attend one day or if they attend 5 days. It's just your total enrollment, what percentage of them are low income.
That's a good point. Then if you had some subsidy children that come part-time,
right,
that's the same as having a subsidy full-time.
Right.
And so that can skew the numbers to your positivity.
Right.
And the higher percentage of lower income people, the more reimbursement you get.
Right. It's all percentage. If 30% of your kids are free, 10% are reduced, and the rest are paid, then that's how, when your total meals come in, that's how it's paid. 30% at the free rate, 10% at the reduced, and 60% at the paid rate.
So what some of the comments I've gotten from owners in the past are, it looks like a lot of paperwork to me.
It is a lot of paperwork. I won't lie. It's not easy in the beginning, but once you get systems set up, it gets a lot easier. And you can do your food and also salaries for people that help with the food program. So if you have a cook, if you're serving food and you don't do the food program and you have a cook, you're losing a lot of money, because you could do the food and the cook's salary up to what your reimbursement is. Of course, you can't do the whole thing. Or if you don't have a cook, you can do the salaries it's a portion of the salary, however much time they spend on food, of all of the people that cook the food, serve the food, clean up afterwards, the ones that mark the checkoff sheets, everything.
Yeah. And speaking of a cook, we have clients that have cooks. We have clients that don't have cooks. We have clients that have full-time cooks. We have clients that have part-time. We In our opinion, it's not a full-time job unless you have a center school with 300 children that
Right.
serves, breakfast, lunch, dinner in, as it is just not a full-time job. So we'd highly recommend if you have a cook that they can fill in the classroom when they're
Right.
not doing that. Parkinson's law says the work expands to fill the time allotted. If you give somebody 8 hours a day to be a cook, they're going to find 8 hours worth of work in a day to fill that spot, even if it doesn't take that long. We don't have a cook at any of our facilities. We never have. We've opened 10 schools, and we have teachers that swap in, cook the food, and they all take turns cleaning up after that. We've
Yeah.
never had to have that expense in there. But we don't judge anybody that does have that. We just know from what we've seen, a couple hours a day, if you're going to have a cook in a large school, 100 kids or more, usually 2-3 hours a day is usually about the max that would be needed. It's just not a lot. And you say, well, I'd like to make it from scratch. Well, the USDA is pretty darn healthy food.
Right.
They have a good standards. Talk a little bit about their standards.
Well, the standards are just, you have to have a protein, a vegetable or fruit. Well, you have to have two vegetables or a vegetable and a fruit, and a bread and milk with each meal. And then snacks, you have to have two components. You can do homemade recipes. There's ways of calculating all of that. There are a lot of people that do that. Or you can do you can get like the frozen grilled chicken and make that for the kids with, a vegetable. We don't use canned. We use either frozen or fresh vegetables. Same with fruit. And we try not to do processed food. So it is very healthy food that the kids are getting. And you have to do whole grains once a day, not everything whole grain, but you do have to do it once a day. And when we first started it, we're like, the kids are not going to eat this, but they do. Yeah.
And we've toured schools where the kids bring their own meals, and I've seen problems with
It's a
that
lot
when
of
they don't
work.
get all the same food. They get
Yeah.
jealous because somebody has cookies and they don't. And we've also seen, could be a problem with peanut allergy because a lot of things are made with peanuts. You don't check. We know because we control the ingredients. When parents bring things in, you don't know what the allergies are. And the last thing is, it's convenience. If a parent knows they're getting it for free, you could charge more. Parent will gladly pay $20 more a week not to put the food in there every week. So you're getting a higher tuition rate, even though the USDA is reimbursing you for the meal. So it's like double dipping. I could charge more, and then on the second realm, I'm going to get reimbursed for the food plus a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you actually get food cost plus to help some of the salaries. So it's probably a 15 to 20% profit margin, but you technically legally can't make a profit on USDA, but it helps to offset salaries, which to me is taking profit, and it's reducing your salaries, which increases profit. It's
Exactly.
It's cool.
Yeah.
So we recommend it for anybody that could qualify. And if you do qualify, you should definitely do that. So any other things you could think about that I missed?
No, I think the way to just figure out if you qualify is to search CACFP for your state, and it should tell you who to contact.
And keep in mind that I believe they're raising federal poverty level income, which means more people will qualify when that, because wages have been going up. Even the lower income people have been rising. So the government needs to raise that poverty level up. And once that happens, more chances for more people to qualify. And another thing is, we've had some people recently disqualified because their childcare centers weren't profitable. You need to be making a profit or they will deny you.
There actually is an appeal process, which I just found out about this. If you had a loss and they say you don't qualify because you had a loss, you have to show some way to prove that you can pay for all the food and all the salaries if you don't get the income. And the reason that they do this is because there have been times in the past where the money's held up for a couple months, so we don't get our reimbursement for a few months, and we have to make sure we can still pay for the food and pay for the salaries and everything that goes with the program.
Yeah, the government's afraid that if money's tight for you, you'll stop feeding the children.
Or stop feeding them properly.
Sure. Okay. Not in there. So So that's why they do that, which makes sense. So if you've, like some of you have bought buildings and you use depreciation to lower your income even to a loss, and that I've had 2 clients that have been denied USDA because they were able to take accelerated depreciation on an asset purchase, which brought them into a negative tax situation, which made it look like their business lost money, which it really didn't. But to the government, who knows nothing about accounting, that was a loss. So we're able to, through the appeal process, show that we are cash positive, but the business was just tax negative, which is a good thing. They didn't have to pay any tax on it. That's part of the strategy we teach at Child Care Genius, is tax reduction strategy. So we're listening to us paying no taxes on their child care business, but it penalized them on the USDA, which we turned around and fixed in the appeal process. So just know going forward, they will look at your financials. They ask for tax returns. They want to make sure that you can afford to pay the kids. So that's the USDA food program. It's nationwide, only US clients, obviously. And we hope that we've given you some tips and tools to help you in our Child Care Genius podcast training series. And if we can help you in your childcare business, just jump on a free coaching call with me. If you're a center owner, just go to childcaregenius.com and hit the coaching tab button and say, I'd like a free coaching call. And I'll get on the call with you. If you're a center owner, we haven't done a call in a year and over a year. And I'll give you some tips and tools and maybe how to use that USDA program or just how to make more money in your childcare program. This is Brian and Carol signing off. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Until next week.
Thank you for listening to the Child Care Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your child care business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Child Care Genius community.